Still the 7th of October 2022. If you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Talk to you a little bit today about the long dark winter. We're hearing a lot of rambling on YouTube and some of it in the news about the long dark winter that we're fixing to be in. It goes to show how short Americans' attention spans are. If you remember last year, they were claiming long dark winter. I remember the first time I ever heard long dark winter was on a show called Jericho, which was a show that it was a series that used to come on TV. You could watch it, and they had a nuclear attack in America, and they were saying that they were headed for a long dark winter, and that was the first time I ever heard the saying used in the way they was using it. Well, we're hearing it a lot now, and it's got me wondering what's different from this year than last year. Well, energy crisis, right? But last year they were telling us the power grid was bad. There was, all kind of shortages everywhere. Power grid was going to collapse, everything was going to fall apart, and then it went into the summer that the power grid was going to fall apart. We were going to have rolling blackouts all across the United States. You're hearing of some countries that's going to start cutting, power during the peak hours this winter when it comes to heat, and they're going to cut them off at peak hours certain areas. So here's the question. They want us to go green, right? We don't have an infrastructure set up to go green. If we can't control the electricity now, and we're having to cut people off, and we're in for this long dark winter, what's going to happen if all of a sudden everybody just went green? There was no more combustible engines, everything's green, everything's solar, everything's good to go, right? No, it's not. We're not set up for that. I've always said solar is cheap until you get to the batteries. The batteries are the cost in your solar system. You can pay cheaply for a battery. You're going to have some people, they may even comment on here, I got my batteries for X amount, only paid a couple dollars for them. Well, if you're setting up a system and you're building a new system, you're using new style batteries, lithium ion batteries and so on, you're going to pay $1,000 and up for them. We're talking big batteries, right? We're not talking about the batteries you pull out of your car and you throw it on, inverter on it and you use it. We're talking about a full solar system for your house. It gets expensive. The batteries do. I don't see no way of the cost of the batteries coming down anytime soon due to the shortages of what we've got going on. We're supposedly having a shortage of the lithium, so that's a shortage there that's going to raise the price of the batteries even more. But every year, last year and this year, we're hearing long dark winter, long dark winter. Why do they keep saying that? It's like if I tell you it's going to rain every day and I'm wrong every day, eventually one day I'm going to be right that it's going to rain. If you keep saying the same thing over and over and over, eventually you're going to be right if you're predicting something. It's just mathematical odds. That's how it happens. If I tell you it's going to rain every day, eventually it's going to rain one day and I'm going to say I was right. This long dark winter stuff, they're claiming it's supposed to be colder than ever this winter and all this and that. I told you, smoke and mirrors. They're trying to keep you focused on one thing while they're doing something else is what it's coming down to. Do I think some areas may have a power situation? In the United States, yes, they may have a power situation. Every winter we face that. You'll have an ice storm come through or a huge snowstorm come through. It knocks power off to locations. That's part of the winter. Is it mean they're making it sound like as soon as winter starts you're not going to have heat or power for the whole winter? And that's just not true. It's not. Could something happen between now and then? Yes. Could there be a nuclear attack somewhere that just destroys everything? Yes, it could happen. But the point I'm trying to make is we heard last year, and people forget that everybody was saying this last year, we was in for a long dark winter. Did anything happen in your area that the power was off the whole winter? I hope not. Now, I'm sure there might be one person on here that it happened to, and yes, that's terrible. But overall picture of things, who knows? Yes, you're going to have storms come through and knock your power out. Where I used to live across the state line in Georgia, same mountain now, just 2 miles down the road, if the wind blew, the power went out. Over here in Alabama, after our big snowstorm in 1993, they started addressing stuff and they started clearing the power lines and things like that. So we don't have as many power outages as we used to here. Yes, we still have them. If a big storm comes through or something, of course we're going to have power outages. But in Georgia, where I used to live on that road, there are still people, if the wind blows, the power goes out. But this long dark winter, you keep hearing it. Why do they keep saying it? That's what you got to ask yourself. Do you need to be prepared? If the power goes out, yes, you need a way to cook, you need a way to stay warm, and in the wintertime, I remember the big snowstorm in 93 down here. We got, where I live, we got anywhere from 17 to 23 inches. It just depended on a couple miles down the road. Our refrigerator was outside. You stuck the stuff in the snow and that kept your stuff cold. We were fortunate enough that we have wood heat, so we didn't have to deal with, propane or anything like that. Now, we have wood heat. We cooked on the wood stove and things like that. Now, with the prices of everything going up, maybe that's what they're saying. People's not going to be able to afford the propane, or they're not going to be able to afford the natural gas or the heating oil or anything like that. But if anything showed you anything back during the summer when fuel prices shot up, what did everybody do? They complained about it, but they kept buying it. That's probably what's going to happen this winter. Prices will go up, but people will keep buying it. Yes, there'll be people that can't afford to buy it. You need to start looking now into secondary ways of staying warm. But as far as they're always screaming long dark winter for the last 2 years, eventually they're going to be right. It's just law of averages says they're going to be right eventually here. So, get prepared for it. But as far as a rolling blackout and the whole United States out of power, unless something drastically happens and we're just dealing with, normal winter weather, I don't see it happening. Now it could. Don't get me wrong, it could. Anything's possible. But like I said, I'm sure next year we'll hear that if we're all still here, we'll hear long dark winters ahead. We'll hear it next year too. But right now you need to stay focused on everything that's going on. If the long dark winter is what gets you prepping, get to prepping. That's great. Do what you got to do. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Always be aware of your surroundings. Protect yourself and your family at all times. And if you're still watching this video, hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and get out there and get prepped up.